Hey, you have to listen to this. I mixed this drum recording by using this one plugin. This one is called Telos Drums by Black Salt Audio, the same people behind Silencer, which is still my favorite drum gate. Now, let's face it, mixing drums is not always easy. It can be a challenge and can take a long time. And by mixing drums with this plugin, almost feels like cheating. And that's because it's so easy to use, the workflow is so quick, and the results are actually pretty good. So let me show you. Now, the idea behind Telos Drums is to replace a full plugin chain when mixing drums, and it's very well done. On top, we have different instrument modes from kick to snare, bottom snare, rack toms, floor toms, cymbals, and room. And underneath, we have an EQ section. The top row is going to be to enhance frequencies. So I'm going to select my kick drum and test this out right away. So let's have a quick listen to the drum recording. Okay, I'm gonna start with my kick, and let's just enhance a bit of low frequencies. All right. Okay, let's go with a bit of highs also. Add a bit of clarity. And what about the mid-range? I'm not sure if I'm gonna need some mids, but you know what? Let's play around with it. See how it sounds like. Interesting. Okay, I kind of like the snap on the higher mid-range here. Let me bring this down a bit. Okay, now when it comes to the tight and smooth section, now we're talking about cutting frequencies instead of boosting. And same as we have with the mid-range knob, we also can choose the range of frequencies we want to cut. Now, something very interesting here is that we don't even know which frequencies we are cutting or boosting. And that is made on purpose, just to force us to use our ears, which is not a bad thing. Now, what I can say though is that the tight button, from what I can hear, is going to work more towards the low mid frequencies, and the smooth knob around the mid-range frequencies in general. But again, you can add a bit more precision by playing around with the smooth frec on those two knobs. Okay, so let's have a listen. Let's go with tight. I'm overdoing it for now. All right. So just cutting a bit of mud. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. And if I want to get rid of a bit of boxiness, I'm going to go with the smooth knob. You know, maybe something like that. So if I bypass, wow. Okay, a significant difference. And that was done pretty quickly with only these knobs. So I kind of like that. Now, something important here, which makes this plugin very, very well done, is that the EQ curves and frequency ranges I have assigned for the kick mode are not going to be the same as I have when I select the snare mode. Okay, so let's have a listen. Again, I'm on the kick. This is my kick EQ mix. If I select the snare mode, same settings, completely different sound. That's normal because the frequency curve and frequency selection is adapted to the mode I have selected. So if you want to increase the lows out of a snare drum, we're not talking about the same frequencies that you have to boost compared to a kick drum. Okay, so I kind of like that all those modes have the frequency curves and selection adapted to them. You know, this is very, very well done. Okay, I'm going to go back to the kick, and now let's work on some compression and a bit of color. Okay, I can hear a slow attack, which is cool, keeps it punchy. Let's add a bit of drive here. Nice. This is going to add a bit more of our harmonic content. Okay, I like that. I can overdo it too. Interesting. That's a nice drive. Nice saturation here. All right, so this is what I have so far. Let's bypass. Nice. Awesome. Okay, let me rebalance the output. That's cool. And that was done so fast. Very cool. Okay, I'm going to try it on the snare and then we'll listen to the full mix and we'll see how that goes. So for the snare, I'm going to select the snare mode and do the same thing. Let's EQ that snare. Bit of body here. All right. Let's add a bit of brightness. Do I need mid-range? I'm not sure. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad though if I have a bit. Maybe on the upper mid-range. I think that's gonna work. Let's tighten this up. Let's find the sweet spot. Okay, maybe not too much. Let's smooth the mid-range a bit. Okay, if I bypass. Nice. Okay, let's add some compression here. All right, that's punchy. I like that. Again, a slower attack time. Compared to the bottom snare, let me just jump to the bottom snare just quickly and focus on the compression. Super fast compression on the bottom snare mode. All right, which is fine for a bottom snare. It's like, yeah, it has to be done this way. Let's bring it back to the regular snare mode. Bit of drive, add a bit of bite and color. Nice. I like that. Okay, now let's add a bit of clipping here on that snare. So I'm going to bring that down and you will see clipping going on into the clip meter. All right, I don't want to add too much. That's not my goal. Let's overdo it for now. Okay, this is not what I want. Let's keep it subtle. So you can adjust the amount of clipping again with this clip knob. And if you want to feed the clipper even more, you adjust the output level. So the more output level you'll add, the more you're going to get clipping, okay? So the clipper is basically the last processing on this plugin after the output. All right, let's bypass that. Okay, wow. With the kick. Okay, it is what it is. Now with the whole kit, and I actually mixed all of the other channels with the same plugin. Now I'm talking about the bottom snare, the rack tom, the floor, the overheads, and the room. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to bring down the drive of the snare just a bit. Let's bring the music. Okay, that was like pretty impressive. Okay, let me show you what I have on the other channels. On the bottom snare, a bit of lows, highs, some compression, drive also, and that's pretty much it, you know. On the rack tom, this is basically what I have. If we have a listen to it on its own. Let's bypass it. That is huge. A huge difference. I love it. I love that smooth, tight tom sound. Okay, now for the floor tom. If I bypass it. Nice. That's so cool. Love it. Now, if we listen to them together. If I bypass them. Nice. Awesome. Now, note that I have a gate on the kick, the snare channels, and the tom and floor channels, okay? And the gate I'm using is my favorite one when it comes to mixing drums, and it's Silencer by, again, Black Salt Audio. I actually made a video on this one, so if you didn't watch it yet, go check it out. It's an insane plugin. Now, if we continue my rooms, this is what I have here. A bit of low cut, a bit of highs, bit of tightness also and smoothness, compression, a bit of drive. That's pretty much it. And for the rooms, nice. I love that slam button here, which activates intense compression, okay? A bit like you have on an 1176 when you have like the 4-button in, you get like intense compression. You know, it gives the same type of effect, which can be very useful when mixing drum rooms, like I'm doing here. So I add the amount of compression I want, and if I want to slam it, I just activate it. So let's have a quick listen without slam. Still good amount of compression. Let's slam it up. Nice. Love it. Bit of drive also, and on this room mode we have low cut and high cut filters instead of boosting the lows and the highs, which makes more sense for rooms. Okay, let's have a listen to the whole thing. Note that there's no reverb yet on this drum mix and no drum samples added also. Everything is done from the original drum recording. Wow. Wow. This is impressive, I have to say. You know, it probably took me between 10 and 15 minutes max to mix the whole thing. And it sounds awesome by only using this plugin. And I don't even have drum samples, you know, and it sounds like I have for some reason. Now, note that this video is not sponsored whatsoever, but I do have an affiliate link down below if you want to check it out. There's a trial period if you want to just try it out. And if you do, come back on this video and leave me your impressions in the comment section of the video. Now, on my side, I don't think it's going to be the last time working with this plugin. All right, my friend, take care and see you next time.